shit, we're away.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Captain's Draft Minor 4.0 CIS Qualifiers. We have Team Empire versus Effect.
Team Empire's turn to ban.
And I am Shane O'Mad. I'm joined by Dragon Drop Dota. What's up, dude?
Surprise! I'm still here. Everyone thought they'd be rid of me, but, well, joke's on you guys. Joining here for a little bit of more CIS action. Effect versus Team Empire. Some pretty fun teams.
Yeah.
Empire as well, especially. I've seen them play live at Aces ROG.
How'd they look?
They look pretty good there. But obviously, new patch, and with the Captain's Draft mode, you never know what you're really going to get for your lineup. But for now, I see like this Ancient Apparition. I don't think that's been in any of the ACA pools, so that might be
I saw it play
sought after.
mid yesterday,
Oh,
and
wow.
it wasn't great. Well, it wasn't great at all. It fed miserably. But apart from that, there's Medusa. Medusa is already. It was before the buffs. It was hard in Captain's Draft, right? Because there's a very few ways to counter the hero, and now she was buffed recently, like considerably. Her win rate went up by like what, 10 or 15%. So to see her in the pool now is definitely a spooky one.
Especially split shot. It was always one of these things which is not really worth leveling or almost even using, because it's always this downside to it. But now it's a passive that does not really affect your primary target's hit anyway. So just always cool to have. But the question is if you still want to level it up early with still Mystic Snake and the shield being so strong in its own right.
Depends on how you want to play. Like, you can stack for her and that kind of stuff. You could play it that way. I like the Max Snake mid laner though. She pushes out the wave. She's difficult to gank.
Oh yeah.
I like that a lot. Now, usually what I try and do at the start of a draft in this mode is kind of look for heroes that I think, you know, are difficult to counter, or like, for example, Medusa, Wraith King, Enigma could be one.
Yep.
Arc Warden, Terrorblade, that kind of stuff. Like, you need to kind of build your draft around countering them, and you need to tick all your boxes, which is very difficult to do in Captain's Draft.
Yeah. Especially when it comes to roaming heroes, like look at this pool, there's not too many of them again. Like Spirit Breaker in particular already taken out even, so what do you even have there? You have the Riki, I guess, and Nyx Assassin is the biggest one.
Yeah,
But
there's not
outside of
much at
that,
all, now that you mention it. I don't like Nyx Assassin Roman either. It's difficult to land a stun, the cast animation's wonky. It's just not guaranteed, you know? And I don't like that. I like... They go first pick AA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. Empire really like to run that hero, and there's another one of these high value ones from the last patch that still kind of carries over.
Did he get changed at all in the patch?
Not significantly, I believe. Not at all.
I was looking
he was remodeled for one thing, so we're gonna see a fancy new Ancient Apparition apparently. And the Chilling Touch is a little bit better now. Doesn't reduce your attack speed. Magic damage has been reduced, but it also applies the stacking slow as well. So it's it's even stronger than it was before, I want to say.
Wait, so it applies the stacking slow on every hero that it's applied to?
Yeah.
So
like
say 4 people are attacking.
Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
You stack a 30% slow, so it's ridiculous in its own right, actually. If you think about it.
God, yeah, that is actually insane. I would have thought they would have went for the Nyx Assassin here, one of the best counters to Medusa, but instead they went for Riki Medusa. Interesting.
10 seconds remaining.
I've yet to see Medusa played. I don't know.
Yeah.
5 seconds.
Was in the pool a couple of times for SEA, but no one's really went for it. And now Empire, they still have that option to go for the Nyx Assassin now. Then that makes a lot of sense. And Effects, they must have known that this was coming, right?
Yeah, you'd presume so. Maybe they just valued the Riki so high that they were like, well, you can take the Nyx Assassin. It's whatever to us. It's unusual, to be honest, because the way I see it, you know, you pick the Nyx with the Medusa and you have a free game, almost.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, Team Empire, they want to double down, and they could still get the line if they want to run a Nyx in that offlane position.
Yeah, they have some good like ranged presence. You know, Nyx Assassin can find someone, AA can globally ulti, and Mirana could arrow from a long distance away as well. So I somewhat like their draft.
Yeah. Mirana also Diffusal Blades builder. Is pretty much the only one in this game, so that also tends to help. If you really want to double down on that, if they're really too worried about the Medusa, I don't know, I was gonna say pick up the Terrorblade, but then you have the issues with illusions perhaps being counted out to some degree, but...
Arc Warden mightn't be bad as well. So decent Diffusal Blade carrier.
It's also an obnoxious hero all rounds.
Yes.
Like, once you get the Midas going, you get 400 gold every 100 seconds or some shit. And then he's very hard to stop in later parts of the game.
Medusa Magnus Ricky. Okay, so Ricky Magnus is one of the most powerful combos, in my opinion. Ricky just gets one or two stat items. It can be a Ring of Basilius, Power Treads, anything, and gets empowered. Ultis and Magnus, if he OPs in that range, everyone gets hit by the backstab cleave, and it does ridiculous amounts of damage actually. So.
I still feel that's a bit cheesy though, isn't it? Like, can you really rely on that to draft around?
They definitely need one more go hero. Yeah. I agree with you. Yeah, it's very lackluster in initiation. Yeah. You're gonna have this Medusa doing nothing, just kind of walking around shooting arrows around the place. Ricky, like no one really initiates, do they? And then if you look at Empire's lineup, holy crap!
I actually like that a lot here. Wraith King Abaddon.
Why?
Like, I don't know. Wraith King's almost going to be very hard to bring down. It's also another stun. It's another thing. We can play this game, count the stuns. Look at the fact they have like 1.
10 seconds remaining.
Right now, in Empire, they have plenty. Nyx, Mirana, Wraith King.
5 seconds
like, and if Nyx lands a stun, it might be a little bit hard sometimes. But if he does in the lane with Mirana's at, then you have the easy follow up with the arrow. Wraith King, obviously. Pretty useful, pretty easy to land in most circumstances. Very tanky frontliners too, with the Abaddon especially just being tanky himself, very hard to bring down, but also giving over that Phonic Shield to the Wraith King and the Mirana, making sure that they have the freedom in the fights to do the physical as well as magical damage even.
What I was speaking about earlier about Nyx struggling landing the stun if he's roaming. Both lanes, or all 3 lanes actually, have some setup. You know, you have the Ice Vortex from AA, Wraith King can stun, Mirana can leap or even, you know, zone with the arrow. There is ways to follow up and set up the Nyx Assassin. So it is an easier game for Team Empire than I expected. This last pick is very, very difficult. You need initiation. You need some team fight. Maybe Ember? Yeah, that's all they can pick really.
It's the best one remaining. Else you'd have to go for something like Lina even, or Enigma, but that's not really good at all. Against the Nyx Assassin in particular, just a death sentence that you give yourself essentially.
Yeah, I was thinking a lot about Captain's Draft actually last night after I finished casting. I was like, what heroes do you want to prioritize, and which heroes do you think are the most powerful? Like, and I honestly think a core that stuns and suits your like style of play is the most OP thing. By far, you know, because stuns are a hard thing to find in Captain's Draft. They're very sought after, and like a hero like Ember Spirit definitely, and even Wraith King. What's the new skeleton thing like? I saw there was a Wraith King in your game.
Yeah, all right. So whenever you crit on a creep, you don't just crit, but you insta kill the creep, and you get a charge on that, and then you can press the ability, and then you spawn skeletons for as many charges as you have. It's like 4, 5, 6, 7, the way it scales.
Okay.
And those skeletons are uncontrollable, just gonna go down the lane. But they do attack anyone that you stun with your Rayfire Blast.
Huh.
So I've yet to see it myself, whether it's actually just a gimmick or whether it's actually useful.
So split pushing Wraith King. Well, let's go.
I guess, yeah. Still have to start critting things, and that's a 9% chance at level 1.
9% max charge 7. Yeah. How much damage do the skeletons do? Are they the same skeletons from the Dark Troll Summoner?
I think they're slightly better. Let me just double check.
Really? Because them skeletons were already pretty good. I checked on Wiki earlier, I couldn't find it. If that's what you're doing now.
Wraith King. Skeletons. Skeletons. 35 to 40 damage, 1.2 attack rate.
What?
35
35?
to 40 damage.
That's
yeah.
pretty good. It's like a treant, right?
It's like a treant, like a creep, like an extra melee creep essentially.
Yeah.
Right? With 350 health, 350 move speed, 15 gold XP bounty, so not all that much. Can be pretty useful to
Yeah.
to just help push these lanes along.
All of a sudden, a hero like Wraith King that doesn't really offer much push at all now is pretty decent at it. You know, it's a big change to the hero and an added kind of tool in his toolbox.
Yeah.
Right, let's go into the game. What kind of lanes? Nico Baby, generally their carry player for effect. Seems to be falling to that. Afro Ninja in the mid lane, Ember Spirit. Sudoi. So you can see where my camera is, can't you? Kinda. How are you gonna play by play when I'm doing the camera? Have you done this before? You just go for it and I'll try and follow what you're saying, alright? It'll be grand. Let's not worry about anything.
Just gonna call out, this place. And then, sure it'll be fine. For now, up top, King R. Doing the Riki thing, trying to be a little bit cheeky, perhaps grabbing some of these bounty runes. Event score, he does have a sentry ward, but it's almost not worth it. Plopping it down, especially if you don't have the control to follow up with. King R might just be able to walk out of range on that.
He'd probably be happy if you dropped the sentry ward, actually.
Yeah.
It's a
Really
big...
want to have it for the lane. It's a big investment early on just to try and maybe get a first blood on the rune.
Which draft do you favor? Or is there any...
Empire.
Empire,
I
yeah?
would say.
I'd agree with that. Like what we talked about during the draft, the mass amount of stuns and control compared to Ember Spirit needs to initiate and do damage. It's so hard, right? Ember Spirit has to go in, create the chaos, set up the team fight, and Magnus has to land an OP off that. But then if you compare that to Empire, they can do these like scrappy fights. They can go in with the Wraith King. He can die. He can come back to life. Nyx can like pick people off. It just seems more versatile.
It comes down to this concept of ease of execution. Like I feel like Empire has the much better ability to just chain things together, whatever which way. Like you land one stun, you get the follow from the arrow or the cold feed, and on bottom you already see something going on. So Doi can still go for the skewer. Doesn't put a point into it just yet. Just walks away. Only the stout shield, but you can already see the amount of damage they can do with the chilling touch.
Okay, so I forgot to change the overlays. Now, usually I have this rule with my co-caster, Brax. You have to remind me to do the overlays.
Okay.
And if the overlays aren't changed, it's on you, alright?
Oh, do you still have? Oh yeah, still have the draft overlay. Okay.
I fixed it now, though. It's all good.
Hashtag production value. Is that what it is?
Exactly.
I'm used to it with Trent. Trent streaming.
Oh, is he bad at it as well?
Yeah. Trent is notorious for that a little bit.
Okay.
But lane so far kind of
pretty static.
yeah.
Like it's on one side you have Abaddon, very difficult to kill hero, hard to zone out. He's getting some support from his Nyx assassin as well, so any aggression will be thwarted. And then the bottom lane, Wraith King and AA. Like I'd say it's more possible that King Or and Sudoi could get a kill on this bottom lane than the other way around.
Not without no extension events, though. Like Riki doesn't really provide all that much in the early levels. He's barely cracked level 2. And Sudoi also needs a couple of levels to actually provide damage.
As far as
Vansco just walks too far out, I think.
Yeah, if he overextends, yeah. But I really don't see Sudoi dying either, though. You know, it's
should always be able to skew out of the full feed. Even when against stun down first, that's yeah, he should be fine in this lane too. But at the same time, you're not really shutting down the Wraith King. Top lane is still going quite well for the Abaddon, just doing side pulls as well. Just doing all of this. And the one thing that I'm most curious about is the Scarab Mage, Azik. Sometimes what we see Scarab Mages doing is, or like most of the time even, is to just camp mid and spam out the Arcane Ball. He hasn't been doing that. He's been sitting up top because he can't really leave the Medusa alone. At the same time, that's also a lane wing position where you cannot really accomplish anything yourself. in terms of lane pressure. So I think Effect's kind of missing out on that regard and more or less losing all the lanes.
What would you prefer him to do? Maybe rotate bottom or something, or like
Yeah,
just
put on more focus on one of the lanes rather than trying to
kind of half-arse the
break
top
even.
lane. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Bottom
hear
lane
you.
stun is sitting under a dire side sentry, I believe. Oh, never mind. That's oh yeah, there was dire side sentry. No attack for King R, so no kill either.
He's just been a nuisance really in the bottom lane. Kinda, he hasn't really tried to go mid at all. Just remaining bottom, applying pressure to the Wraith King. But
Yeah.
similar to Skyrat, not really accomplishing as much as you'd hope for a rookie.
Yeah, exactly. There's a result after NJ on his mid Ember. Sure, he's getting his levels now, so it's getting better. But Rana can be exploited early on, just because it doesn't have too much damage to work with.
How do you
But,
kill the triple leap Morana?
Can't kill her, but at least you can try and give Ember Spirit a little bit an easier time. But
True.
maybe this is also just the effect of Boom and Shield being taken out of the game. That was the one reason Morana is doing very badly in the first couple of levels against a lot of these melee laners that you put up against her. But Ember Spirit only has a Stout Shield to work with.
Yeah, that's a big difference actually. Ember Spirit used to be almost
Bottom
unkillable.
lane. Go again for the Magnus, but yeah, Fedor.
That's
Doing
his
it out
salve
now.
up.
Turn around damage here into silent. Goes down and stun, cancel the self, but he's still dropping lower and lower. King R. Blowing him down with the Orb of Venom, but not enough. Limping away though. And
Oh, he's going for it. The stick.
Not sure, but this was silent. Okay. Just land a 9% crit, sure. He had that queued up. I'm sure it's fine.
That was a bit deep there from King Or. Very, very aggressive. Almost, you could feel it was almost frustration or something from the lane not really working the way he wanted to, or something. He pressed his advantage way too much. Just so
I have no explanation other than
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
he
just
fed.
believed in himself, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Silent
He
did
not-
too
didn't
apparently with
believe
that mortal strike right to the face. So he gets a charge
Yeah.
from that or no? Only creeps.
I think only creeps. Do you see the charges?
No, he doesn't have any. I don't think.
Well, FN
Nice.
gonna go on him in mid. King R jumping in, the silence not enough. All the chains lasting for a second. FN will be fine, but yeah, that's the kind of combo that you can actually see getting killed, preventing the lead with the silence. But Alpha Ninja's gonna need a couple of extra levels in the chains for that to work out.
Yeah, I was kind of interested in his build actually. I would have expected maybe more points in the chains, and I would have expected King Or to come here because this is where the kills could be. You know, this is a definite lane where he could strike. But bottom lane it seems difficult, right?
Yeah.
Hence why.
He's gotta get better the more levels he gets. Maybe he can snipe an ancient apparition with a shockwave, if he's not expecting it, but Venscore's positioning has been quite good so far. For Ninja, it's an interesting case. He found himself a haste rune. He's gonna try and make something happen with that, but Miposhka is already there waiting for him. Silent with stun starting off. Alpha Ninja walking in. Miposhka with a follow-up here. Tadoi cannot continue the fight. It's only Alpha Ninja who has to walk away again. No spike careful just yet from Miposhka, but the stun from Silent, not enough to set up.
Just
Not enough damage to burst to the flame guard there, but looks of it.
very nice position from Miposhka actually, saving the Wraith King by being in that position. It
Yeah.
could have been a lot different if there was no Nyx Assassin there. And Tadoi tried to bait it out, but just a bit wishy-washy of nothing really happening. It makes a bit of space for FN in the mid lane. He gets some more free farm. Oh, Skywrap.
What? See?
Oh, he's great.
What? He leaps forward again, of course.
Okay.
Oh, bottom lane same King R. All ends up falling. Sitting in the sentry. And, well, Empire already off to a really good start in this game.
Before
Again,
this game started, I was trying to confirm what time I was casting at. So I looked at it on Ghost 2 Gamers, and the chances on Ghost 2 Gamers of Team Empire winning were 100%. You know, their ratios or whatever.
Yeah.
100 to 0.
I think, doesn't that just mean that everyone who visits that page like put their money on Empire?
I think so.
Or like their predictions. Like, don't do it as a simple thing where you can just think, oh yeah, I'm betting for this guy. You can win big ones.
Then.
I don't know.
It does a lot of damage.
Oh.
He still has 2 charges of the leap. Do not fear.
Cannot
Whee!
kill this guy. It's like, whew. And another one if possible, if
What's
necessary.
the recharge replenish time? 50 seconds.
Top
Okay.
lane Azik. Oh god, look at Ghosty. He's doing a ridiculous amount of damage too. And one more right click will do the trick. The slow will be purged off. Ghosty running him down inside the trees. And he's joking though. Azik is doing it. He is still alive. Just barely.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay, so
A little bit too deep.
while all this is
Meanwhile-
happening, Empire are...
Magnus down bottom,
Oh.
so all you use is skewer.
Red
Bad
Frog less
angle
than
from
1.
Squall to follow up.
Watch your silent, there's a shrine there!
Yeah, it is. Look at skewer up.
Yeah, so what I was saying, while this is very good for Empire, they are doing very well. They're farming quite a lot, but FX draft doesn't really have early aggression, right? Apart from Ricky, top lane. You know,
Good job, Pushka barely surviving this one.
it does kind of favor them, even though like Nico Baby is the important one here, right? Once Medusa's farming, it's not too bad. They're not losing objectives. They're not losing buildings. All their buildings are very healthy.
Yeah. Maybe the one weakness of Empire's draft that they don't have an easy way to actually bring them down. They don't have these classic pushing heroes that we see in pretty much every single draft on 706. So yeah, there's a little bit of extra time for Effect to get what they need on the Medusa, but at the same time it's a hero that I feel like needs a whole lot of money to be able to start thinking about joining fights.
The one thing I'm worried about is the Nyx Assassin as well, right, on the other team. If they're putting all this faith in Medusa, into
Yeah, that as
Nico,
well.
and the Nyx Assassin mana burns him and takes half his life away.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. The Mortal Strike has been used in the he's farming neutrals with it. Look at him go. I was thinking he'd maybe keep it until the siege creep comes out.
Yeah.
You know, it's coming very soon, but
Dire's top tower is under attack.
allowing Vanscourt to get level 6 is equally as important. King Aura spots them out. Shockwave is used.
Actually see him here. There's working for Vansco now. King R revealing himself, jumping across.
Might be too deep again.
Vansco should be fine. He pushed up with rotation, bringing down the sentry of his own silence with the stun.
Oh!
Look at this damage from the chilling touch. Stoy also in a bit of no man's land. FN is there, does not have the arrow available, but no skewer either. But Starfall lands 2.
Dire's
Doesn't even
top
need to
tower
leap after
is
him this
under
time.
attack.
Stars.
FN 71 for 30 in CS, 2 for 0 at 10 minutes in. He's styling on Effect here.
Yeah.
So he's going to be very difficult to kill as the game gets on. You know, Effect kind of lacking in AoE control or lockdown as we talked about during the draft. They have Ember Spirit and Magnus with a Ricky Cloud on. Like, it's very difficult, right?
Yep.
How are they going to lock him down? Like, what's their answer to it later on in the game?
Dire's bottom
I
tower
have
is
no
under
idea.
attack.
Any sort of lockdown that Effect even has to throw out can also be countered out with this Abaddon. We haven't talked too much about Ghostly because he's been doing his own thing up top. He's been doing quite well. He's still keeping even with Nico Baby in terms of net worth, and especially going to be helped out by the Midas that he just picked up.
Structures are fortified.
So this guy is also going to get stronger, and it's going to be a huge liability for Effect to try and play into it.
Look at the skeletons. They've had enough of this. They're pushing the bottom lane.
Tal's almost dead, actually.
Yeah,
One more Tal.
that was just a Wraith King with a catapult. Insane. I love this new change. Finally, he's no longer a one-button man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's taken off his shackles.
Hasn't been Reddit about that yet. Oh no, I literally can't play Wraith King anymore because these two buttons, I don't know what to do.
No, I don't think so. Hey, Blast, one bad score.
Western Boy here drops the RP, but cannot get anything else off. But now, the rest of Effect, they have to try and take this fight. Another lead available for Mirana. What trying to come through to help them out. Silence, that still zone ultimate to work with is necessary. Something of the stun with King R. He's not busted up or anything, so Armor Toggle's gonna have to keep Silence safe, and that'll be the end of it. 2 kills for Empire. Even though that was a full-on rotation from effect, really. And look at top lane. They didn't even need Ghost Stick and Portia for that, did they?
I think Effect kind of have to play like this though, right? They're kind of far behind. It's difficult for them to fight already, and in this situation, it really feels like it's like we can't deal with Abaddon at all, and we can't deal with everyone else, but we can just ignore Abaddon and hope for the best.
Look at this sneaker, babies. No man, and Portia was
Double!
It makes the B9 double shot into the A, but wrecking these two heroes. I will fly, falls on Zeke to the left. Stories there as well, but no RP or anything to counterplay this. So Empire, they're looking for more here, and they will find our Zeke. Oh god, wow.
Go stick!
Oh, there you go. The stick charge is make sure that the defense picks up the last hit.
I never even thought about this as well. The leap, because it has charges, right? If you're pushing together as 5, you can leap, wait for it to run out, wait for the movement speed and attack speed to wear off, and then use it again, right? To make your push even more continuous.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Yeah, even though they don't have these pushing heroes, they've already claimed the tier 2 top. They claimed tier 1 bottom, and mid lane's gonna be the next target.
A blast. That for Ninja right in the face.
And that's the thing with this draft that Effect has, in my opinion. Like, don't as you mentioned before, like they don't have any early aggression, even early team fight beyond that RP. It's come back on cooldown now, so look for silent. Other target still is Zolt to work with. And so throw it out now. Ghost Stick made rotation, start already in motion. Already do right click down here. And now for Ninja, he has to TP on outer lane.
Dear God, that was such a committal as well. That's their mid laner and their off laner for a Wraith King ulti, and that's it. And they even get a return kill, like Empire get the return. It's not really working out. Ricky is unable to do anything. King Or is in the mid lane trying to leech experience, but the position Empire is on, they're very aggressive. They have wards, like they're playing into them, right? So Ricky isn't able to scout. He has to react.
Yeah.
It's not really how you want to play it at all.
Not a fun position for him to be.
Silent.
For Ninja, he's coming straight in. Silent will scout off, I think. Now, well, that makes it worth it. That's why he's down far. If they can get this kill, but so far, the rest of Empire in a good position to turn things around. Arrow flies. Going forward, gets annoyed. Gets the RP off. Comes in time, but he still ends up falling. Everyone. So much life picking on the side of Empire now. In fact, another 2-man shackles. They get the Portia, but Silent is still alive. He can't go for the stun as well for Ninja with and leaping forward. The arrow will be the one thing that puts him over the edge. 4 heroes down, only for 1.
Dear Lord,
that
this
was
is
Effect having the initiation advantage.
okay. Effect are already at a disadvantage with the draft. And Medusa has to farm, because what the hell else does Medusa do? Like, what does this hero can't roam, he can't gank. If he TPs in, he's essentially a stone gaze. This position is, I don't know what they do at all. It seems unfixable almost.
Yeah. Like Empire, they have a whole lot of momentum with their draft right now. They're sitting at an 11k advantage, 60 minutes in. This is crazy. It's really crazy if you stop and think about it. And they also have the tools to keep this going in the mid game. Like the Portia is playing a better read here with this Vendetta. Just keep scouting out, keep looking for these kills. You have Silent, who, like, that kill in the bottom lane on him, that forced out the ultimate.
Yeah.
This is one of these kind of plays that's only worth it if you then
take advantage of it
afterwards. But that didn't even happen. Right? Where's the damage going to come from effects?
They tried, right? He armed the toggled, but I don't know. Okay. Right, they're 1,200 gold away from Blink Dagger on Magnus. He gets an RP off. Ideal situation. They triple Remnant in on top of a Ricky Smoke Cloud. Maybe they can get a few kills.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2. But then they're still in the same position after this amazing team fight, right? Their cores don't scale as well. Afro Ninja has he's like 500 gold away from Veil. He's going to have like a 20-minute Veil.
Yep.
The item progression is too slow. On top of that, the heroes, like the style of heroes from Empire, is so aggressive that if you can't fight them right now, it's going to be a disaster.
Yeah. Ghost Stick has the Vlads going for the Radiance. So he's gonna get strong and even harder to deal with. Miposhka is getting his extra levels into Spike Carapace and the Infale. It's gonna be extremely useful to just lock down the Ember Spirit even. It's the one hero that effect has that can actually do damage with Veil now. Especially.
I love
if
the
you lock
way
him down first. It's
Nyx Assassin counters both of their core heroes.
yeah.
And they could have picked it.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's ridiculous, actually. Bottom lane.
Try and bring him down. Silence him better. Okay, so
Dire's middle
these kind of
tower
things are exactly what they need. But hey, Aztec face rated with the Royal Champion. Gonna go into the hands of Empire.
Oh, no one wants the Aegis. Well, I don't need that. FN takes it in the end, but they're not even giving up a tier 1 tower for Roshan. Like, they're getting nothing. They got a Nyx Assassin. How much gold was he worth?
Radiant's
300
bottom
gold.
tower
That's
is under
what they got.
attack.
Dear
Bit
Lord.
of an extra fight perhaps on Zeke. Almost dying here. One more record looking good with the stun use. Why the hell not? Running him down, trying his pops. But not enough. And now should be 3k here. He's already down. Way below now.
Oh! Bottom lane, Poshka
What the hell?
catches out Afro Ninja on the Ember Spirit.
No. Doesn't still have a run. Not quite enough damage on the Miposhka alone, but
Hey,
one
ulti?
of your viewers, the Ice Blast.
His shield's gonna wear off, right? Holy crap!
Oh no.
Okay, so what happened there? They tried to kill Ghostic on the Abaddon. I don't know how they expected that to happen. But,
Yeah.
you know, they tried. And it failed miserably. But Miposhka was in a good position to spike Carapace to Ember Spirit afterwards. We have 3 Mortal Strike Skeletons at the ready. 4? 5? Oh, this is the high ground push.
Yeah, I mean, FN was already chipping away at me. He's no care in the world.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
And if you look at the facts, Sidori is still 500 gold away or so from the Blink Dagger, so you don't even have that particular threat against you. So
Radiant's
I
top
hate to call it early, but I don't really see a way for Effect to win this game now.
It's pretty bad. What's on the career? I don't even want to know.
He's linking forward, Wraith King. Ice Blast coming through from back, catches Sidori, so he's not gonna be doing too much going forward. Silent.
Oh, might kill him once. Okay.
is under attack.
Oh yeah, I had a bit of leg spike, but I'm back. Ghosting in front as well. It's they give all of these heroes that are almost impossible to kill. You go on Wraith King, he armor puddles, he just reincarnates. You go on FN, he comes back with the Aegis. You go on Ghost, he has Ghost puddles. Now they find
Arrow hits. Oh, dear Lord.
That is right available. Gonna try for it anyway.
Yeah, bye bye.
To hold now all these 5. One stun.
Just rip off the bandage! Call it for Jesus' sake! Oh my.
Are you okay?
Okay, they hit the RP! And then the combo! This is the combo we're talking about!
With the follow up. Saw in the middle, Wolf's gonna fall. Silent shoot. Using pop. I did pop. She's dead for good. They are getting kills. They are sort of holding. You still have to burn through FN.
That combo was cool as fuck though, you have to give it to them.
Oh yeah. But they have to call it.
Maybe they just wanted to do that for style points.
Just land one RP, you know. Just do it once.
Alright, I guess for this game the thing that stand out the most, during the draft they first picked Medusa. They had the second 2 picks, so they could have picked a combo with it. They picked Ricky instead of picking Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
Which like Nyx Assassin was like the only counter in the game, kind of, to Medusa and kind of to Wraith King. So they choose not to pick that. They pick Ricky. They force Ricky to go offensive dual lane with Magnus, like a lane that has very little to no kill potential, just to try and contest the Wraith King. It doesn't do anything. And then from there they have this Medusa that's farming, kind of doing nothing, while Empire just walk all over the rest of the team. Like it was 5v4.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even in Captain's draft, that's pretty good draft win.